Cancer. Here I am for your reading, a peek into 2022. Now, today, when you read this, you see this, you hear this, I'm uploading them the 24th, Christmas Eve. And Christmas Eve is also the day that is called Festivities of the Seven Fishes. It's an Italian-American festivity tradition, not so much in Italy. It's not called that way, but it is a tradition on Christmas Eve to eat fish. And the Italian Americans call it the seven fishes because typically they prepare fasting from meat the night before Christmas and eat 7 different types of fish in their meals. So whatever you celebrate and however you spend the evening on the 24th, I hope you spend it and enjoy it. Let's take a look. Now I am starting the spread here, the mini grand tableau for you, and we'll see how that works and I'll explain it. I'm dividing the year into trimesters. The first 3 years, the first 3 months, January, February, March, then April, May, June, July, August, September, and October, November, and December. First, I'll talk about each trimester, and then I'll give you a reading of each individual aspect of your life in 2022. Just a moment now. Let's see, checking the cards. Let's see. Then we have... Okay, so we have the beginning of the year, January, February, and March. January, February, and March starts with quite a surprise, ladies and gentlemen, Cancer friends. It is quite a surprise, especially a surprise for Cancerian males. And it's a blessing and a surprise. It's like a curse and a blessing because something comes to you. Let me give you an example of how that could be. You get an inheritance, but that's the blessing. And the curse is that half of it goes to taxes or something like that. It's a curse but a blessing because it takes so much to manage. But something like that occurs to you. And for example, you do get the surprise, but then you have to share it with more people than you expected. But that is only an example. But the end of the trimester, the January, February, March, is you getting very interesting news, surprising news. Again, another surprise. The beginning of the trimester, January, and the end of March, you get another surprise. And what is the surprise all about? In April, May, and June, it has to do with some kind of activity, some kind of hobby or activity, a livelihood that works for you, where you earn from, that in some way brings you some economic value. There is a bit of excitement, a bit of anxiety around that hobby, that livelihood, and it has to do with a third party. All right, I see the presence of a third party in a relationship that you catch wind of. Now, the job, livelihood, hobby, passion is one thing, but it may be linked to a partner that you have. And it could be a romantic partner, could be a business partner as well. But there is a third party that comes in to rain on your parade, to change things somewhat. And again, here, just like the first trimester, I have this up and down surprise and then, a punch in the gut. But it's very short-lived because if you've been waiting to meet someone, I see those of you who've been waiting for a woman, I see her walking in during this semester, April, May, June, towards the end of June. Now, what's interesting is that I've got the snake next to the woman, so you've got to be careful about that. This woman may not be the right person for you. If you're looking for a business partner, they probably have a different agenda compared to you. So you have to watch your back with that, Cancer. Then we have the third trimester, July, August, and September. At the very beginning, July, I see documents coming in, communication, It may be something to do with books that you've been reading, book deals that you've been waiting for, maybe to do with your insurance policies that you've undersigned recently. It could have to do with something concerning your properties. And lo and behold, there are matters of the heart that surface all up until now, the entire time, the entire 9 months so far. But they are not contentious in that sense, not really contentious. They're not really anxiety ridden. They're not really problematic, but there is a lot of talk. There is a lot of reasoning. There's a lot of blah, 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 and harrowing. I'm not sure the word I want. Yes, but not only that, so there's a lot of reasoning going on there in that third trimester. Then we get towards the last quarter, which is October, November, and December. And look, Cancer, I've got, you are a person who loves their home. You love your home. And I do see that in some way you're rewarded. You're rewarded because you have a sense of love in the home, something that was missing up until now. Or if you did, there was no more love left. But there is a warm feeling that comes to you through your home, through the sense of being at home with someone. Now, there is here a decision that you need to make in this last quarter, in October, November, December, towards November and December. A decision concerning whether you want to pair up with someone again or a new person. And you start thinking of things like, what would that mean to me? What do I have to move? Does this person have to come to live with me? But what about my other family members? What would they say if, so there's all of these ideas running around in your head, and it has to do with people coming into your life and people going out of your life. And there's a tendency in all of these trimesters, Cancer, of you sort of being suspicious. You being suspicious of practically everyone, in a good way and a bad way. There's an expression that says, when you're suspicious and you think badly, you're usually right on, but you just a little too much on the negative side, and you don't give people the benefit of the doubt, generally speaking, in 2022, and they surprise you, though. They do surprise you, and people come into your life that do surprise you. All right, now I'm going to look at each individual house, as I call them. Every card position has a house. Now, the first is the house of endings and beginnings, and that is where most of the surprises lie for the year, Cancer. And what do I mean by that? I mean by that both endings and beginnings seem positive to you. You're seeing them with a positive life. And this is quite different from the way you usually react and the way you reason. You usually think that you're rather more stable in your ways. And when new things happen, you tend to fear them. But this marks the beginning of something new in your life, something new, a new trend of how you react. Now, the area of life that concerns surprises has to do with your stability and what your stability means for you. Surprises, not many people like surprises. They'd rather have the status quo and know and see something as it's coming. They don't like to be surprised, either negatively or positively. But here I'm looking at many of you being surprised by a sense of stability and by your work, in the sense that you're going to get much satisfaction there where you didn't expect to get satisfaction. You're going to see that all is not lost in your livelihood, your passions, your hobbies, your work life, and that there is margin for improvement, and you come up ahead and say, well, it's not as bad as I thought. Then we have the area of life that deals with direct endings, only endings, something coming to a complete end. And this concerns documents you receive, cards that you receive, written documents, written communication that you receive is always a precursor to the announcement of something ending, a job ending, your lease ending, you have to change house, so look for that. The form of written documents is where the most important bits of communication lie. Then we have matters concerning communications in general, and I see that you spend most of your time during the year, Cancer, talking about your home and thinking about your home, thinking whether it's best to be home, it's best to change home, it's best to live with other people, live alone, your meanderings, and you're going to talk about that a lot to people around you. Then we have the area of life that precisely concerns your work and your livelihood. And here I see the man, and there is a male figure that will be influential for you, whether you're looking for a new job, whether you're thinking of jumping up the ladder of your career in your present job, but there is a man who will be influential for that, both whether you want to change, whether you want to stay. Go talk to them, go see them. Now, your sense of security during the year is probably the area where it's going to make you feel anxiety ridden. This means that every little thing, even though I did say, Cancer, that you welcome change this year, still underneath the surface, it's as if those coals are still burning and smoldering, and you do have that tinge of anxiety that comes up when you see that a change is afoot. Then you do accept it wholeheartedly, but there is a moment where you pussyfoot around, I will say, and you have to think of it 12,000 times before you calm down and accept it. We have here also the area of the reading that concerns guidance. Now, guidance is done in the year 2020, is had with you cutting yourself off from other people and meditating and thinking and reasoning with yourself and not letting other people know what you are thinking, because ultimately, Cancer, you feel like you are the best expert that you can consult. Then we have matters of the home, and I did mention that matters of the heart will be linked to matters of the home. But here, I do think that for those of you who are looking for a new home, you're going to look for a new love, in the sense that you're looking for a new love in the form of a home. For those of you who are staying in that home, you will be welcoming a new love there. It's quite interesting how this love and home are linked for you, because when you reason with other people, if you're looking for a home or a new place to stay, or even renting your current place to someone else, it is a very emotional experience for you, and other people don't understand that. But in part, you keep it to yourself. In part, you do express it. And just remember that the beginning of the year comes in with these rushing changes, these sweeping changes that you accept. now is the time to understand that matters of the home may change and that you will be accepting them as well. Then we have the area of the spread that talks about public life. And here, this is where Cancer, you get into a little bit of hot water, but very, very hot, light hot water. It's not hot, it's warm water. It comes and goes, and it's easily swept away. When you deal with matters in the public, or you talk to other people about things, that's also matters that you share with the public, is when you could bite your tongue for having spoken. And again, this ties in with you wanting to stay on your own and meditating, reasoning, and being your own consultant. Then there is the area of the spread that concerns obstacles. And that is going to be so difficult for you, because when you have an obstacle that comes your way, for example, you're ready to purchase a home, you had everything set aside, and you go prepare that down payment, you realize, and you had forgotten that the money you wanted to use for the down payment is locked somewhere in a fund that you cannot touch. And that is a problem. It is a problem that is going to cause a problem that doesn't go away. You just have to change your plans. So that was an example. Then there is the area of the spread that talks about decisions. It's all about deciding about matters of the heart, all about love, all about your feelings, all about should I, shouldn't I? Will it be best if I do this? Will it be best if I do that? And only you have the answer, Cancer. And, it's funny because this is the year where you do interact with others. You do talk about personal things, but at the same time, you go back and you hide and you think on your own. But the decisions will be made, and you'll have to face making those decisions. So expect decisions of the heart to come up and expect to make them in 2022. Now, the house with problems, and this idea is being again underscored because the decision-making card, the roads here, is in the problems house. And so, every time there is a decision to make, you start to sweat. You start to, you start to break out, and you start to worry. Calm down. We put up our boundaries. We get ourselves in the dark room, and we put on our best music, and we think. Now, the area that has to do with something hidden in your life is a surprise that is coming to you, and it cannot be revealed. You expect in 2022 an extremely wonderful surprise in the form of news that you did not expect. Then we have matters of communication. And here they're giving you a clue because there's the woman in the house, and it has to do with a female, communicating with a female. And, it's interesting because whereas I don't see this linked to matters of the heart, I do see it linked to decisions. And so this tells me, Cancer, that you may have women as business partners, as, partners in crime, so to speak, people who you have fun with. But there is definitely the figure of women linked to decisions you make, whether you decide to go on a trip and you're going with them, right? So this is, the year is about decision making, and decision making linked to the heart for you. There is I was going to say there's a heart. There is a house that talks of male influences and your male side. And here I'm pointed to very much talk, repetitive talk, discussions at length with a man or men about your feelings, about your decisions. And it's interesting because you, Cancer, are being much more of a public person, but at the same time, I'm seeing you hide and putting up your boundaries to make your own decisions. So there is this in and out quality to the year, which is beautiful. That it's beautiful to see. And the last house is the female influences, and look what I have. There is the ring there, and this could mean an engagement. This could mean a partnership, a business partnership. This could mean a decision for you to pair up with someone to do whatever, to purchase a home, to start a business, to plant seeds for something in the future. But boy, Cancer, look, I'm looking at such a fervent moment, such a very powerfully new elements coming up in your life where you're going to be dancing, Cancer, and I'm going to watch you dance. Good for you. Enjoy your Christmas Eve, and we will be back. Bye bye. Namaste, Cancer.